Hey y'all, something happened. My screen froze up, so I'm gonna continue on with this post that I'm posting. Um, I'm just part of me is grieving over this situation that I just I don't know. I cannot figure this shit out. How is it that you could be brown people that are all different shades and then say you're not black, then what are they? Uh, and it's the point of being black or being brown, you know? Reason why you were titled brown skinned people, and I was told that a lot of them don't believe, and I don't know. I just heard. I'm going by hearsay. Don't quote me on this. Of saying that they disassociate themselves with anybody that looks like me because uh, we're beneath them. Go figure. Go figure. Go figure. But the reason all of this pain is going on with the ripping apart of people and families and things like that, I wouldn't want to impose that on anybody. On anybody. But when you're a unit within yourself and you don't include others that could be in a position to help and aid you, like one person said, he was Latino, he said, the black people and Latinos need to come together. And I agreed with the response. He said, no, the Latinos need to join in with the black people. Understand what I'm saying? That's why you're marching alone. Because some of the responses that I'm getting from brown people is, have you not been in this country long enough to know what's been done? Did you think that you was going to elevate to a certain extent, that you were going to be accepted? You turned around and voted for what you thought. And I got my reasons why you've done that too. And it's survival. See, why have all of these other Latinos coming in the country that's going to now reap the same benefits we got? It's going to take away from us. So, yeah, let's close the border. You voted against your own. You voted against your own. And now you want to pick on us about it? Now you want to throw stones at us? Who do you think in this country is fit and able to help you? Because the other people done showed you, they're not just going after non-documented people or the criminals. They're not just going after either one of them. They're going after people that are American citizens, that were born American citizens, and trying to do a couple of generations things. Say, well, hey, came here and gave birth, but the children can stay, but you got to go. And if you don't want to leave your children, take them with you. That's cold. That's cold. Who in the hell going to be able to foster care all of these children? See, we are not thinking. We do a lot of complaining, but we don't do a lot of thinking. These things that are going on need to be worked at and having a solution to stop it or end it. And what I see rising up around this country, a band of people that are sticking together and defending their own. They're not out there starting no trouble. They're just saying, we don't want that trouble to come to us. And if you bring it to us, we're gonna be here to stop you. Okay, no more. I had one lady say that if Black people were involved and we see ICE going after people, come out the doors and protect them people. Because there's only a few of them compared to a whole neighborhood. But there's a lot of suggestions out here, but no real answers. Because there's no unity. There's no unity. So you can't come to me and ask for unity if you won't unify. Because the minute you get stuff done, you're going to go back to doing everybody else that done when we fought for things. Keep us still down on the totem pole. But God is going to correct that. So we ain't got nothing to worry about. We know what's coming. Okay. That's a pattern. He showed it to us when he delivered the children out of Egypt. Things are happening now because we're forced to go back to the same situation. See, God repeats, He is consistent and he don't change. When God sets in a move and he starts moving, all you got to do is look around and you see what's happening. Trump had to get elected. See, prophecy doesn't get fulfilled unless certain things happen. See, how many years did the people in Egypt cry out under that slavery stuff? I think about 400 years, wasn't it? If I ain't mistaken, I could be wrong. Don't you see the pattern here? So deliverance is coming. But God said, y'all got to band together. You got to band together. You cannot bring in outside influences that's going to distract you from what you need to do to help your own. See, my mother always says charity begins at home. I can't do nothing for you unless I'm able to take care of me. See, when I'm saying this, I'm speaking in a multitude of people. I'm just putting it in a singular form. See, if I can't help myself, how can I help you? I could share something with you. I could probably give you instructions on something, but as far as what you're needing from me, I don't have the resources to give it to you. But within ourselves, we have the resources to take care of one another. If the government is so against you, why do you keep worrying about what the government is doing? Why are we worrying about what the government is doing? There's enough food in this country, in the oceans, temporarily now, and things that we could do for ourselves. There's so many things preventing us from being self-sufficient. It's because we rely on people to bring things to us. We need to get out of these grocery stores, y'all. Get what you can, save it up, but start dealing with farmers. There could be jobs available for people of color like me to go put money in buying quantities from these farmers, just like you do online, and have the stuff delivered to you. No more supermarkets. Then that means truckers are going to lose their jobs. See, there's a cause and a reaction. See? And like I heard one person say, we need to just sit back because it's no longer just our fight anymore. They're going to be fighting amongst themselves. Because everybody that ain't up to 4 figures in their income is going to be affected. That's another band of people that need to come and get in one accord. We got all this division and separation and da 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 da. When God said, my disobedient people, how long am I going to have to go through this with you? Every time I give you instructions what to do and you don't follow through it, well, you're always going to wear chains on your neck, on your arm, on your wrists and ankles, and you're going to be cast out to the 4 corners of the earth. Who else has gone through this? All the while, me and mine. So if we don't get in line and start doing what we need to do to protect our own, some of our kids is not going to make it home. Some of our parents won't make it home. Our daughters and nieces and nephews won't make it home because we're not heeding to safety in numbers. See? You're vulnerable when you're alone. We've got to do some serious thing, a buddy system, meaning we got to start watching our neighborhoods and see what's going on. And then like Tubman say, look, there's some shit brewing over here. Be careful. Look, there's some shit going over there. Be careful. Or did y'all hear this? I'm going to shoot my phone. But yeah, the movement is now. And I want my application process because we need flyers. If they could do it in their community, what's to prevent us from doing it in our own community? Banding together and protecting one another. Because we're not troublemakers. We don't go out and start harassing people and calling them, what you doing here? I live in a neighborhood that's dominantly Latino. Everybody in my building is mixed. I got all different ethnic people in my building. And we get along great. Hi, how are you? Have a nice day. There's a few that, won't even look at you when they see you go in the elevator. But hey, that's on them. But Black people are not the mean, nasty people that America has put us out to be. Because if they hadn't went through what we went through, they wouldn't be able to, they couldn't judge us because they would feel that same within themselves. See, hate is hate. But when you have no reason to hate me, and you think you're going to heaven, you better think again. Because God is love. You think God's going to let all of that heaven come, hatred come to him? I know you can say, oh, God, I'm going to pray for my sins and, with me whitewashed and I'm going to be forgiven. I just watched a spooky show yesterday and it had to deal with the spirit of a man on a plantation. He was a foreseer. And the stuff that he did to those people, He cut his own throat when they ended slavery. And they were going and asking him, why were you still here? Do you regret what you did? He said, I regret. He doesn't want to move on because he's afraid of Judgment Day. See, if you go with all that hatred in your heart, God ain't got room for that in heaven. People don't use common sense. I keep saying common sense. This is what I forgot I wanted to say. And then I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Oh, it's not down to 15 minutes, so that's good. Most of those interactions that I've seen and watched on TikTok, when white people were cornered and saying, know your facts, da-da-da-da-da, and they're questioning a way that what they're saying didn't make sense because they're only seeing it from one side and not both sides. And when you try to explain what my generation and my people have gone through and try to understand why we feel the way we feel, you all of a sudden go way white on us. There were so many derogatory statements coming from MAGA people. And then the N-word kept getting thrown out there. And that's not even that. It was the people on the panel. Why is it when you're confronted with the truth that you can't swallow the truth, instead you become hostile? Why do you do that? Why is your heart so hardened that you don't have compassion for what your people have done to other people? It's like, oh, you're bringing that up now? Yeah, it's never been resolved with us. Damn near every invention in this country, we did it. And never got credit for it. We were good enough to cook your meals. We were good enough to raise your children while you socialized. We were good enough to clean your house, even though we had to come in the back door. But we're not good enough to sit at a table with you and eat. And as far as this restitution is concerned, there were MAGA people saying, we ain't got to pay y'all a MF thing. You need to go back to your Bible. You need to go back to the word, because Israelites, not all, I can't say all, but they were paid for labor. That's why when they exited, they had their own, and then they were told to get what is due to you. That's why they left with, and Egyptians were giving them gold and everything. They left with it. So payment is, and was charged to Egypt. Other than that, they could have made a golden calf. God wanted that gold for the tabernacle, but not for a calf. That's a worship thing. And once you keep doing that, he got rid of you. He said, those of y'all want to follow the law of Moses, stand on this side. Those of y'all want to go back to Pharaoh and Egypt and all that, stand on that side. And they lost the ground up underneath their feet. Swallowed them up. And then God also punished Moses. He said, I gave you a word and I told you to give this to the people. And you, out of your own anger and stuff, you got pissed and destroyed them. Now you can't go into the promised land. See, That's God saying, if I give you an instruction, I want you to follow it. It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard. You got to realize that human nature is human nature. When people work under fear of abandonment and other issues and they don't have the security, they go to false things. You want to know where your strength is? Your strength is with Yah. Your strength is with Yah. How many times is He's going to have to lay down patterns for us? And then put people into place. Put people into place that say, look, come together. Do you know how many people marched with Martin Luther King? This went from state to state to state to state. Why aren't brown skinned people doing this? That's a pattern. Get out there and protest. These people brought tents with them so that they can have places to sleep. They had food, lunches, and everything they brought with them so that there was no turning back. That was something that needed to be done to correct the injustice. The pattern was done for you. It was done for you. When you don't pick up and you just make an assumption and you don't look into the history and how things came about, you don't know where you're going until you find out where you've been. See, the worst thing they did to us was to make us believe that our lives started when we got to this country was getting off of a vessel of slavery to come here to work and be so mistreated. I mean, it's horrific to hear about some of the tortures and stuff that my people have gone through. And they think that it was only the women getting raped. Yeah. Homosexuality didn't start after slavery. It was there. Not just the men, but the boys too. See, we was always taught it was the black girls. They had to be broken in at the age of 13 because once she started menstruating, she was considered a woman. She could bear children. Y'all, the truth is ugly. And because they don't want to face the ugly shit that they've done, you cannot run from God. Every knee will bow. If you don't get up in there and repent what you've done and change what you're doing, I'm sorry. It's going to be just like the people in Exodus. Which one of y'all are going to follow me, or which one of y'all are going to go to this other side? And then your world is going to swallow up underneath you. And that's what's happening now. The world in America is crumbling. There's no unity. How can a country fight together if everybody's hating one another? And if you're doing things like that to piss people off, then you need to go fight this war that you're causing with these other countries here. Because my kids ain't joining. We ain't fighting for this country no more. We done it 2 times already. And we done fought other wars for you all. And I'm talking about the Revolutionary War, and a black man started that. He threw the first punch. Really? Yes, he did. And the Civil Rights Movement, the North and the South and all of that, the Revolutionary and the Civil Rights War. We won them. If they couldn't have won the war without our help. They don't want to acknowledge that. So how are you going to go into battle by yourself when you done turned every other nationality against you? There's not enough of you. Damn sure ain't enough of y'all to go after China. But we telling everybody, hey, don't confuse us with these people that are doing this stuff. We're not in that. That's not what we want. That's what they want. So deal with them. We're moving out the way. You can march right down my neighborhood if you want to. I'm not lifting up a finger. It is sad when you go against people that can help you and you won't give them a break with nothing. So then fight your own battle. Fight your own battles. We have our own battle here to fight. That means we have to get our own army to say, nope, don't come here. Keep that shit out there. Don't bring it to us. Don't bring it to us. Because everybody that's here is under the protection of here. Separation is what is needed. I went all around the world just to say that, separation. Separation is needed. And it's needed for our own protection and our own safety. Y'all, this is a hard, cold fact truth that we got to realize is happening. And it's going to get worse. So my wish for my people is that we start going back to them old patterns that were laid out, because God showed us that they were successful. They were successful. God is consistent. If they were successful then, they're going to be successful now. And the thing is, it's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. Manna came down from heaven to feed. Moses struck a rock. I didn't mean to do that. And water came out of it. God is consistent. He's still saying, how long, you people? How long is it going to take y'all to come to me and say, I'm tired. I need peace and I need rest. He's there with open arms. I was asked a question on the TikTok when I joined it. Oh, beautiful. Oh my God. I mean, that girl, what's her name? DJ? Oh man, she was awesome. I had a good time. First time I got on something like that. And it was just awesome to see the amount of communication going on, and the fact that we are so helping one another and understanding. And this is a platform that we can talk about it. This is something that we could share. So we're so used to going through so much shit and thinking it's our family or individual that's going through this. No, we've all going through it. But like God said, I gave you the solution. Why don't we follow what God put here for us? Because if we start to do that, what did that song say? My eyes is on the sparrow. If I can feed the sparrow, you know I'm gonna feed too, right? So a lot of your worry and panicking is for nothing but your obedience. And it ain't a hard thing to do. Oh, I lost sidetrack. They asked the question. They asked me a question. They said, are you for the mixing, not the mixing of races, but are you there? If you have a movement, would you consider outsiders coming in and wanting to share in that community? I said, of course. Why wouldn't I? If God did it and said, you know what, you Hebrews are so disobedient and you're not listening, therefore, I'm going to extend the grace to the Gentiles and not just you. I'm going to give grace to them. Now, if they believe in the same thing that you believe in, then they will have eternal life. So how can I not exclude anybody else in this? I ain't better or more powerful than God. So how can I make a God decision like that and say, no? God is about love, people. You gotta love yourself first. There's certain patterns and certain rules. We've been taught to hate ourselves. But we are acknowledging the love for ourselves. Now we got to feel it for each other. We got to feel it for our own. You need a black person, give him a hug. If you're listening to this, give him a hug and say, I love you, brother. I love you, sister. Smile at the children. Say, hey. We need to learn how to become friends to each other. When I was growing up, they say black people were their own worst enemy because there's so much strife in between us because we're fighting over the crumbs, you know? No matter how hard we fight, no matter how much we educate, no matter how much we do anything, everything was still taken from us. And another person was put over it like they manufactured it and they produced this. We haven't received the award yet. Or I know those inventors of these people that invented those things. What about their families? How come people are earning the money off of this electricity when they didn't invent electricity? Why are we paying for something that we invented? They couldn't get to the moon as quick as they did if it wasn't for us. See, a lot of things we contributed to this country. But see, when you come over here as a stranger and you don't know what the history is, then you pick up that bad judgment up and say, well, dang, they done freed them and now look at them. They ain't, oh God, that is so, it's not unimaginable now. It's unimaginable that you just disliked about over a majority of lives. And the frustrating part is when you try to defend and explain it and why it's that way. Oh, they're loud, you're mean, you're nasty, you're ignorant, you're this and that. No, man, I'm talking out of experience for what I watched my people go through, my mother and her mother, and then it gets shared. See, they don't know that we talk about that history amongst ourselves. See, because some of them people are still here. Them great greats. And years ago when I was growing up, you had to listen to your elders. See, because they taught you. They spoke truth to you. See, the communities were more banded together. See, we need to go back to some of the patterns. When you see somebody's kid out there doing the wrong, hey, I'm going to tell your mother. And parents, get mad at me if you want to, but think about it. I'd rather watch my kid knowing somebody else got an eye on them, rather see them get caught up in the law and somebody else putting their hands on mine, giving them lengthy jail sentences, because you know how much that costs you as a parent. Got to go here, go there, feed commissary and all that stuff. Your kids don't belong in jail. Everything has to change. We need to get more involved in our children's lives. And if it ain't your kids and their kids, neighborhood watch is becoming essential. See, years ago when you was a little kid, you know, you when you got to your neighbor's house, whatever you were doing before you got to their door, you walked straight when you went past there, and then you started acting up again when you got past them because you knew eyes were on you. You knew eyes were on you. And I tell you the truth, we were better people for it. Better people for it. Because we knew that we had ass whippings coming to us when we got home. And if and come on, guys. Come on, black men. I'm just a little discouraged the lack of protection that black women got. She's been the